before he sees the guy. He sees the person that's in need. He sees them, and he's heading for them, right? And you notice how just when he's trying to reach out and get to that person, the devil has got to try to come in between and block it. So very often, when people are going through tragedies or problems in their life and in the life of this church and the people that are even outside of this church from time to time, how many times are people trying to come back to God, and doesn't the devil try to stop them, right? And sometimes God is trying to pull them towards them and say, come to me, and other people perhaps are getting in the way sometimes. We must never be in the way or cause another brother or sister to stumble, ever. But anyway, here's what happens. The Pharisees, is it legal, they say to him, to work by healing on the Sabbath? What do you think? Is it legal to heal on the Sabbath? Is it legal to do good on the Sabbath? Is this like a dumb question when you think about it? Like, how dumb are these Pharisees? They were, of course, hoping he would say yes so they could bring charges against him. You see, they're trying to stop him. But the cool thing about Jesus and the cool thing about Christ the Cornerstone Church is this: nothing's going to stop us. We're like the mail post people. What do you call them? I don't know what the proper word is politically correct. What do you call them today? Mail carriers. Thank you. All right. Mail carriers. Neither wind, nor rain, nor snow, nor sleet will keep us from our duties, our pointed rounds. Thank you. Right? What's stopping you from living your dream? What's stopping you from bringing people into this church? What's stopping you from forgiving somebody else? What's stopping you from living your passion, your purpose? What's stopping you? Is somebody else stopping you? Is there somebody else that's got an effect on your mind that's creating negative thoughts? Do some people, because of their jealousy or their envy or their issues, are they trying to stop you from moving forward into what you believe is true for you as to who you really are? Or is it you from time to time? I don't know who lives in your heads, but I know this: they have to be evicted. Any negative thoughts that you and I carry in our minds, they've got to go, because otherwise it'll cause our mind, our heart, our soul to wither away. So we continue to move forward. I'm going to continue to push you the best I can to help you move forward, to believe in yourself, to believe that you are more than what your past is, or what some other person had told you, or whoever's trying to block you from being all that you can be, or whether you lost someone or something and that's seeming to cloud your vision and cloud your thoughts. You got to move past that. You got to you must keep moving forward. So, Jesus says, if you had one sheep and it fell into a well on the Sabbath, wouldn't you go work and pull it out? Of course you would. And how much more valuable is a person than a sheep? Do you not realize how valuable you are to God? Do you not realize that week after week, as you sit here in our sanctuary and we pour out the Word of God to you, do you not realize the reason that's happening is because you are so valuable to God, and your life is precious to Him, and your thoughts are precious to Him, and your cares are precious to Him, your concerns, everything that concerns you concerns God. And who you are going to become is really God's business, and He wants you to become more and more of who you already are. He doesn't want you to stay stagnant and to stay stuck into where you used to be. He wants you to move forward, upward all the time. Correct? Yes. All right. So, you're valuable to Him. Yes, it is right to do good on the Sabbath. Then He said to the man, He walks up to the man, and He says, reach out your hand. Now let's get a picture of that for just a second. Everybody stand up for me again, because I'm going to use all of you as volunteers. And I would like for you to take, if you're right-handed, take your right hand. And I would like for you to just put it behind your back. And I would like for you to take your left hand and write something. How many of you could? I know we don't have any pens out there. How easy is it? Have you ever heard the terminology, I could beat you with one hand behind my back? Or is it just me because I was raised with boxers, not dog boxers, but physical boxers? How many of you really believe that you can beat someone or something with one hand tied behind your back? Anybody would like to volunteer to help? All right, Gail, come on. All right, you all can sit back down. I just wanted to give you a picture for just a second of what it looks like to try to do something with one hand behind your back. Because some of you are going through life trying to get through life with one hand tied behind your back, aren't you? Your negative beliefs, the limiting beliefs that you hold that are true, that you think are true at least, or what people have told you about your lack of what you're not, some of you are going through life with one hand tied behind your back. You're limiting yourself because somebody maybe didn't like you or told you that you couldn't live up to what potential that you really dreamed of, or whatever the case might be. Maybe you did something wrong once, or maybe you failed at something, or maybe you messed up, and suddenly all your friends leave you, or they talk about you behind your back, and you feel lost and alone, right? And you're trying to still go through life with that kind of hurt on you, and acting like everything's okay when it's not. You're going through life with one hand behind your back, aren't you? All right, so, Miss Gail. Oh, yes. Are you left-handed or right-handed? Right-handed. All right. Now, this is very gentle, you see. Okay. Tosh, come help me. Push her down, would you? Now, just what do you think is going to take place here? Who's going to win this battle? Now, Tasha's a former military person. She was in Iraq and Kosovo. Thank you for serving. Thank you for serving. Now, I would just like you to try to get her to go down the aisle. Just pull her and push her down the aisle. Whoa! Okay. All right, I gotta break it up. Don't hurt anybody. Now, if we had a huge ball that we were going to throw at Gail right now, what would the chances be? Where is that ball? What would be the chances of her catching it with one hand? Depends how heavy the ball is. Depends how big the ball is. Now listen, how many of you have big dreams? Big dreams, huge dreams, humongous dreams. If God is trying to throw you that big dream and you're one-handed, are you going to be able to catch that dream? I got a feeling, I don't have anything to throw at Gail and I don't want to, but I have a feeling. See, I have a feeling if we were going to try to throw something really big at her, it's going to fall off her, isn't it? You're not going to be able to carry it out of here with both hands. Are you really, literally? You might hold on to it for a time, right? You might, get a grip, right, for a time. And then what's going to happen? If something else comes your way, like a problem, now what? You got to defend yourself. What are you going to do? You got to drop the ball. See, some of you are short-handed in life. Some of you are going through life with one hand tied behind your back, and you're trying to grasp this great thing that God has for you, and as soon as something comes your way, to interfere with that, if you don't have both hands available and really hold on to life in that capacity, meaning, now I'm talking literally now, think of it spiritually speaking. Some of you walk around with your faith because maybe of things that have held you back in the past, or lack of forgiveness, or lack of belief in yourself or in God, and you're going through life trying to grasp something great, right? With one hand. Now, what Jesus says to the man who had a withered hand, who had a withered heart and a withered soul, he said, reach out your hand. Reach it out. Stretch out. So I'd like for you to go ahead and stretch out that hand. Look at that. What a miracle! See, listen, you can, all the things that you believe are true for you that are negative, all the things that you think that limit you, whether it's because you didn't have enough education, or you're too young, or you're too old, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too gay, you're too straight. I don't know what your issues are, or your mommy didn't love you, your daddy didn't love you, your sister didn't love you, your brother didn't love you, you didn't get enough chance in life, you're not part of the Lucky Sperm Club, and you weren't born rich. You know, whatever the problem is in your life. Sorry, that was a car term. Sorry. Bert Smith III, really, the only reason he's a multimillionaire is because his daddy was one. That's what I call the Lucky Sperm Club. But needless to say, listen to this. I'm back to G, so sorry. Back to G. Okay, sorry, God. Each and every one of you were adopted into the kingdom of God. You were adopted as his sons and daughters, all of you. Who does that make you? Children of God. What does that also make you? Powerful, mighty, an inheritance of great riches. But listen, if you go through life feeling sorry for yourself and feeling like a victim forever, you are never going to reach out and grab what life has for you. I think, and I know and I believe that God has more for you than any of you are willing to receive. But you have to let go. You got to let go of resentments. You got to let go of the negative things in your life. You got to let go of those things, because otherwise you're going through life with one hand tied behind your back. So Jesus said, reach out your hand. Let me see you do that, church. Let me see each and every one of you, when you're praising God, you know the reason we raise our hands to God? It's to reach out to him and say, everything you have to offer me, God, I'm ready to receive it. This is the Sabbath day. This is the day that your dreams that were lost, those things that disappointed you, those problems and concerns that you used to have, guess what? They leave the place today, because we're going to untie you this morning through the power of God. Now you can drag this little one down the aisle if you wanted to. But listen here. If these two make amends, because she was trying to push her around earlier. That wasn't very nice there, Gail, but you were told to do so. Listen, if these two decide to hold hands and reach out and touch one another and help one another through life and share what they have of their gifts, their love, their peace, their joy, their spirituality, their love and acceptance, their compassion, if they're willing to walk together and reach out and touch that other person's hand, just think that how big can the two of them, let's just look at this. Hold hands with me a second. All right, hold your arm out like that. Now look, see, I'm one person. This is how much I can grasp. But look at the two of them. Do you see how it widens? Do you see there? Do you see if God's going to bless them because they've touched one another and they're connected? Do you see the importance of being connected in relationships that are positive? Right? Because before they weren't getting along so good, were they? We practice all this before church, see? But now, do you see in the physical? Do you see in the physical that God has blessings and storehouses of good for all of you? But it only happens when you are willing to reach out with both hands, but also to reach out to other people. He taught on the Sabbath the importance of looking out individually and seeing who's got a withered spirit. Who's feeling a little down today? Who needs some help today?